There comes a moment in everyone's life when they realize the version of themselves they've been living with is no longer enough. It's weak, complacent, and holding them back. But here's the hard truth. You have the power to break free from that version and create someone stronger, more resilient, and unstoppable. The choice is yours. Are you ready to leave behind what's limiting you and step into your full potential? Because the time to rise is now. Something may have been holding you back for a long time, something you might not even recognize as the problem. It's that weaker version of yourself, the one that hesitates, procrastinates, makes excuses, and settles for less than what you deserve. Today, I'm going to show you how to break free from that version. I'll walk you through the steps to stop letting it dictate your life and show you how to become the strong, confident, and unstoppable person you were always meant to be. But first, let's get one thing straight. This isn't about perfection. It's not about getting everything right all the time. It's about choosing to do better, act better, and be better. It's about taking control of your life, your choices, and your future. If you've been feeling stuck or frustrated, if fear, doubt, or laziness has kept you from reaching your full potential, this message is for you. You don't have to stay trapped in that weak version of yourself. You don't have to let it keep you from achieving the success, happiness, and fulfillment you deserve. Stay with me, and by the end, you'll have a clear roadmap to break free and step into the empowered version of yourself. The only question is, are you ready to take action? Let's begin. Why this matters now? What if the biggest obstacle to the life you want is the person you are today? Let that sink in. It's not your circumstances, your past, or the people around you. It's you. That hesitant, comfort-seeking version of yourself is what's holding you back. Until you confront it, nothing will change. Here's why this matters. Time is slipping away. Every second that passes is gone forever. You don't get to rewind the clock, and you won't get this moment again. So what are you doing with it? Are you letting it slip away? Are you giving it to that weaker version of yourself that keeps whispering, "Not today," or "You're not ready"? That voice isn't just stealing your time. It's costing you opportunities, growth, and the life you could be living. You might be thinking, isn't it okay to give myself some grace? Shouldn't I be patient with the process? Absolutely. But patience isn't the same as procrastination. Grace isn't an excuse to stay stuck. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It keeps moving, and if you're standing still, you're falling behind. Here's the reality. Who you are today is the result of the choices you've made up until now. Every decision, every moment of action or inaction has shaped your current reality. If you're not where you want to be, it's because the weaker version of you has been making the decisions. This isn't meant to make you feel bad, it's meant to wake you up. Because recognizing the problem is the first step to changing it. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you want. If you want more, you have to become more. You must eliminate the version of yourself that settles, hesitates, and says, maybe tomorrow. Because tomorrow isn't guaranteed. All you have is today, the power of choice. Your choices today shape your tomorrow. Each time you let the weak version of yourself win, you reinforce its hold on you. But each time you fight back, you build momentum. You prove to yourself that you are capable of more. The weak version of you fears change, failure, and discomfort. It will do anything to keep you stuck. It will tell you it's too hard, that you're not ready, that it's not worth it. And if you listen, it wins. But here's the good news. You don't have to listen. You have a choice. Right now, you can decide to stop letting that voice control you. You can start listening to the stronger version of yourself. The one who knows you're capable of more. And the best part? That stronger version of you already exists. It's not something you need to create from scratch. It's already inside you, waiting for you to let it lead. How to step into your stronger self? So how do you silence the weak version and let the strong one take over? It all starts with a single decision. Just one. Decide today that you're done making excuses. Decide to step forward, embrace change, and become the person you're meant to be. Take action, no matter how small, to move closer to your goals. Maybe that means waking up earlier to work on something important. Maybe it means saying no to something that drains your energy. Or maybe it's finally starting that project you've been putting off. Whatever it is, just start, because once you take that first step, the next becomes easier, and then the next. Before you know it, you're building momentum and proving to yourself that you can do this. Eliminating the weak version of yourself isn't about drastic changes overnight. It's about small, consistent actions that add up over time. And make no mistake, it won't always be easy. There will be days when you don't feel like it. Days when that weak voice is louder than ever, telling you to give up and go back to your old habits. But those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments where you get to choose who you will be. So let me ask you again, what if the biggest obstacle to the life you want is the person you are today? Are you going to let that version keep running the show? Or are you ready to take control, start making better choices, and become the person you're meant to be? The life you want is possible. The person you want to become is within reach. But it's up to you. The choice is yours, and the best time to start, right now. So what are you waiting for? Eliminate that weak version of yourself and take the first step toward the life you deserve. You've got this. I believe in you. Now it's time to believe in yourself. 2. Recognizing the weak version of yourself. How well do you truly know yourself? Think about it. Not the version you present to the world, the one that plays it safe and meets expectations, but the version that exists when no one else is watching. The part of you that hesitates, makes excuses, and avoids discomfort. We all have a weaker version of ourselves lurking beneath the surface, and if we're not careful, it can take control. But recognizing this weaker version is the first step toward change. It's not easy. No one enjoys admitting their flaws, fears, or shortcomings. But without acknowledgement, there can be no transformation. So ask yourself, who is that weaker version of you? How does it show up in your life? Maybe it's the voice that talks you out of taking risks. Maybe it's the part that says, I'll start tomorrow, knowing full well that tomorrow never comes. Maybe it's the habits that keep you in the same cycle, year after year. Perhaps it's the fear of failure, judgment, or even success. Whatever it is, confront it. See it for what it is, because the longer you ignore it, the more control it has over you. The weak version of yourself is deceptive. It doesn't announce itself loudly. Instead, it disguises itself as procrastination, self-doubt, or busyness. It convinces you that you're too tired, too busy, or that now just isn't the right time. It whispers lies like, you're not good enough, or what if you fail? And before you realize it, you're stuck in a loop, living the same day over and over because you've let that weak version take the lead. But here's the good news. Just as that weaker version exists, so does a stronger one. The version of you that is confident, disciplined, and determined. The version that faces challenges head-on and refuses to settle. The key difference between these two versions? Choice. Every day, you choose which version to nurture, which voice to listen to. Now, let's talk about how to recognize that weaker version and reclaim your power. It begins with awareness. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. Start paying attention to your thoughts, habits, and excuses. Notice when you hold back or talk yourself out of something important. Observe when you choose comfort over growth. Consider your daily habits. Are they moving you forward or keeping you stagnant? Do you wake up and take charge of your day, or do you hit snooze and delay progress? Do you use your free moments to learn and grow, or do you waste them scrolling through your phone? These small choices may seem insignificant, but they add up. Every decision you make either strengthens your weak version or your strong one. And let's not forget self-talk, where the weak version thrives. What do you say to yourself each day? Are you building yourself up or tearing yourself down? Are you reinforcing your abilities or dwelling on limitations? Here's the truth. Whatever you tell yourself, you'll believe. If you've been allowing your weak version to dominate your internal dialogue, it's time to rewrite the script. Start telling yourself the truth. You are capable, you are worthy, you have what it takes. Awareness is just the beginning. Once you recognize that weaker version of yourself, you must decide that it will no longer dictate your action. And that decision isn't a one-time event. It's a daily commitment. The weak version will always be there, waiting for you to let your guard down. But every time you push past it, Every time you take action despite its resistance, you weaken its hold. You prove to yourself that you are stronger. Now visualize the life you want, the goals you want to achieve, the person you aspire to become, the impact you want to make. Ask yourself, is the version of you today capable of creating that life? If the answer is no, then it's time to rise to the occasion. It's time to let your stronger self take the lead. Change is never easy. It requires effort, persistence, and resilience. But the alternative, remaining stuck while the weak version dictates your life, is a much greater cost. So, what will you choose? Will you continue allowing that weaker version to control your future? Or are you ready to step into your power? Will you keep making excuses? Or will you start taking action? The choice is yours alone. And here's the best part. The moment you decide to recognize and reject that weaker version, the moment you commit to rising above it, that's when transformation begins. 2, recognizing the weaker version of yourself. How well do you truly know yourself? Take a moment to reflect, not on the version of you that the world sees, but the one that emerges when no one is watching, the part of you that hesitates, makes excuses, and avoids discomfort. We all have a weaker version lurking within, and if we're not careful, it can take control. Acknowledging this aspect of yourself is the first step toward growth. It's not easy. No one enjoys confronting their fears, shortcomings, or past mistakes, but if you don't recognize it, you can't change it. So ask yourself, who is this weaker version? What does it sound like? How does it influence your choices? Maybe it's the voice that convinces you to play it safe. Maybe it's the excuse that says, I'll start tomorrow, even though deep down, you know you won't. It could be the habits that keep you stuck, or the fear of failure, judgment, or even success. Whatever it is, acknowledge it. The longer you ignore it, the more control it has over your life. This weaker version isn't obvious. It doesn't announce itself with a warning sign. Instead, it appears as procrastination, self-doubt, or unnecessary distractions. It tells you that you're too tired, too busy, or that now isn't the right time. It whispers things like, you're not good enough, or what if you fail? Before you realize it, you're stuck in the same routine, repeating the same patterns, all because you allowed this weaker side to take charge. The good news, just as the weaker version exists, so does a stronger one, a version that is confident, disciplined, and resilient, the one capable of overcoming fear, embracing challenges, and shaping the life you want. The difference between these two versions comes down to one thing: choice. Every day you decide which version to empower. Now, how do you take control? It starts with awareness. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. Pay attention to your thoughts, habits, and excuses. Notice when you're holding back or talking yourself out of taking action. Recognize when you choose comfort over progress. Evaluate your daily routines. Are they moving you forward or keeping you in place? Do you hit snooze in the morning, or do you rise and take charge of your day? When you have free time, do you use it to learn, grow, and take action, or do you waste it scrolling through distraction? These small choices may seem insignificant, but they accumulate. They either strengthen your weaker self or reinforce your stronger one. And let's talk about self-talk. That's where your weaker side thrives. What are you telling yourself every day? Are you building yourself up or tearing yourself down? Are you saying, I can do this, or listing reasons why you can't? The truth is, whatever you repeatedly tell yourself, you'll start to believe. If you've allowed the weaker version to shape your thoughts, it's time to shift the narrative. Tell yourself the truth. You are capable. You are worthy. You have what it takes. Awareness is just the first step. Once you identify your weaker self, you must decide not to let it win. This isn't a one-time choice, it's a daily commitment. The weaker version will always be there, waiting for a moment of weakness. But every time you push through, take action, and challenge yourself, you diminish its power and prove that you are stronger. Now, visualize the life you want, the goals you wish to achieve, the person you aspire to be, the impact you want to make. Ask yourself, is the person you are today capable of creating that future? If not, it's time to step up. Let the stronger version of you lead. Change is never easy, but staying the same comes at a much higher cost. So, what will you choose? Will you let your weaker self dictate your future, or will you take control? Will you continue making excuses, or will you start taking action? The decision is yours. No one else can make it for you. And here's the key. The moment you commit to recognizing your weaker side and refusing to let it control you, everything starts to shift. 3. The cost of letting the weaker version win. What is it costing you to stay the same? Think about it. What price are you paying right now for allowing your weaker self to take control? It's not an easy question, but it's necessary. Without understanding the cost, you won't feel the urgency to change. You'll remain in the same cycle, wondering why life isn't what you envisioned. The truth is, letting the weaker version of yourself win comes at a price. It's the opportunities you miss because you didn't take action. The relationships that suffer because you avoided vulnerability or honesty. The dreams left unrealized because you doubted yourself or waited for the perfect time. The cost? It's your potential. The life you could have lived if only you had taken charge. Consider this. You have a goal or dream you've carried for years. Maybe it's starting a business, improving your health, or repairing a relationship. But each time you consider acting on it, that weak voice intervenes. What if you fail? What if people judge you? So you hesitate. Time passes, and that dream remains untouched, while life stays the same. Now, imagine the regret of looking back and knowing you were capable of more, but let fear hold you back. That's the real cost. Not just what you didn't do, but who you didn't become. This weaker version doesn't only impact your goals, it affects your relationships. When fear or insecurity controls you, are you truly present? Are you being the best partner, parent, or friend you could be? Avoiding real connections leads to distance and misunderstandings, keeping relationships shallow instead of meaningful. Let's talk about health. How often do we postpone taking care of our bodies? I'll start eating better tomorrow. I'll exercise next week. Meanwhile, energy declines, confidence drops, and we fail to prioritize the one body we've been given. The weaker self seeks comfort, not long-term well-being. But you live with the consequences. This isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. We often get caught in routines, forgetting what's truly at stake. What's at stake is your one and only life. The cost of staying the same isn't just in missed opportunities. It's reflected in your well-being, your confidence, and the legacy you leave behind. But here's the good news. You don't have to keep paying this price. You can choose to take control today. The first step, recognizing the cost and allowing it to fuel your motivation. Once you see what you're losing by staying stagnant, you'll stop making excuses. You'll push past fear. You'll understand that the cost of inaction is greater than the discomfort of growth. Now imagine what life could look like if you stepped into your stronger self, waking up with purpose and energy, proud of the person in the mirror, knowing you're giving it your all. Picture the relationships you could build, the impact you could have, and the goals you could achieve. But it starts with a choice. No one can make it for you, and yes, it will be difficult. There will be moments of doubt, but each time you push forward, you build resilience, and that is invaluable. So ask yourself, what's the cost of staying the same? What are you losing by letting your weaker self take over? Now, what's the cost of stepping up, taking control, and becoming who you're meant to be? Growth requires effort, discipline, and courage. But the rewards, they're worth it, every single time. Choose wisely. The moment you decide to stop letting your weaker self win, your life begins to change. Don't wait. The cost of inaction is too high. Step up, take control, and see what you're truly capable of. Let's set the record straight. Uncovering the strongest version of yourself doesn't mean becoming someone you're not. It's not about putting on a facade or trying to impress others. It's about shedding the doubts, fears, and habits that hold you back, allowing the real, most powerful version of you to emerge. The strongest version of yourself isn't something you need to create from scratch. It already exists within you. Your task is to reveal it, nurture it, and allow it to thrive. Now picture this, waking up each day with a deep sense of purpose, because you truly understand who you are and what you're meant to do. Imagine stepping into any space with confidence, knowing you've done the inner work to become your best self. Think about the relationships you could build if you stopped holding back and started showing up as your most authentic and powerful self. That is what happens when you uncover your strongest self. That is what's possible. But let's be honest, this isn't easy. If it were, everyone would be living with full confidence, presence, and passion. The reality is most people settle. They remain in their comfort zones because they fear the challenge of self-discovery. They avoid confronting their fears, weaknesses, and past failures. And what happens when you avoid that inner work? You remain stagnant. You live below your potential. You miss out on the life you were meant to live. And that is not what you deserve. So how do you uncover the strongest version of yourself? It begins with a decision. A commitment to stop settling, stop hiding, and stop making excuses. It means facing yourself with honesty and declaring, I am capable of more, and I'm ready to embrace it. That decision is just the beginning. It must be followed by action. One of the first steps is to gain clarity about who you truly are. Not who society expects you to be, not who your family or friends think you should be, but the real, unfiltered you. What are your values? What fuels your passion? What kind of life do you want to create? These are the questions that lead you to your strongest self, because that version of you is built on authenticity, not imitation. Once you gain clarity, the next step is aligning your actions with that truth. This is where the real challenge begins. Knowing your purpose is one thing, but living it every day requires commitment. It means making choices that promote growth, even when they're difficult. It means turning down opportunities that don't align with your values, even when it's uncomfortable. It means holding yourself accountable, even when no one else is watching.
It means making choices that promote growth, even when they're difficult. It means turning down opportunities that don't align with your values, even when it's uncomfortable. It means holding yourself accountable, even when no one else is watching. The journey won't be smooth. There will be doubts, setbacks, and moments where the weaker version of yourself tries to take control again. But these challenges are where real growth happens. Because every time you push through, you strengthen your resilience and prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. You will also notice something powerful: momentum. At first, the changes might seem minor. Waking up earlier to focus on your goals, making healthier choices, speaking up in meetings, or setting boundaries in relationships. But over time, these small shifts accumulate, creating a ripple effect that transforms your life. Before you know it, you are living in alignment with your highest self. Here's something crucial to understand. Uncovering your strongest self isn't just about you. Yes, it improves your life, but it also influences those around you. When you step into your strength, you inspire others to do the same. You become a source of encouragement and motivation. And that is one of the most valuable contributions you can make to the world. So here's my challenge to you. Stop settling, stop hiding, stop listening to the voice that says you're not enough. Instead, make the decision to uncover your strongest self. Take one small step today, then another and another. But whatever you do, don't stop. Keep pushing forward, keep evolving, keep becoming the person you were meant to be. Because when you uncover your strongest self, you don't just transform your life, you impact everyone around you. And that's a legacy worth building, the power of small, consistent choices. Now, pause for a moment and consider this. If your future self could speak to you right now, the version of you that is stronger, wiser, and more accomplished, what would they say? What advice would they offer? Would they thank you for the choices you're making today, or would they urge you to take a different path? Here's the reality. The best version of you isn't created overnight. It's built through small, consistent choices. The power of small, consistent choices. Think about this. The choices you make every day are the foundation of your transformation. Small, consistent decisions may not seem significant at first, but they are the key to lasting change. The best part? You control them, starting now. There's no need to wait for the perfect moment or a major breakthrough. You don't need anyone's approval to begin. It all comes down to what you choose to do in the next 5 minutes, the next hour, and the next day. When you grasp that everything shifts, Small choices are easy to dismiss. Skipping a workout may seem inconsequential. Putting off a healthy habit for another day might feel harmless. But the truth is, those minor decisions accumulate. Every time you hit snooze, let fear take over, or delay your goals, you strengthen the weaker version of yourself. However, when you push forward despite resistance, despite discomfort, you empower the strongest version of yourself. Let me share a personal story. Years ago, I felt stuck. I wasn't where I wanted to be, and frustration consumed me. I believed I needed a dramatic shift to break free. But then, I realized something crucial. Transformation doesn't happen in one big leap. It's a series of small, intentional action. Better choices, not perfect ones, repeated consistently. That's when everything changed. Small choices might seem insignificant in the moment, but they create a ripple effect. Consider waking up 30 minutes earlier to work on a personal goal. Initially, it may not appear life-changing, but consistency turns effort into progress, progress into confidence, and confidence into momentum. Before long, that one choice sets off a chain reaction, transforming your entire life. This isn't just about habits, it's about identity. Consistent, intentional choices redefine who you are. You prove to yourself that you are someone who follows through, who takes control, who shapes their own future. That realization is where real strength emerges. Now, you might be wondering, what if I slip up? What if I make a bad choice? The answer is simple. You will slip up. You will have days where you don't make the best decision. But failure isn't defined by one bad choice, it's defined by giving up. The power of small, consistent choices works both ways. A single misstep doesn't erase your progress, just as one positive decision can get you back on track. Think of it like climbing a mountain. If you stumble, do you return to the base? No. You regain your footing and keep climbing. Mindset matters just as much as action. Every time you tell yourself, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, you feed your doubt. But when you choose belief over fear, when you remind yourself of your purpose, you strengthen your inner resilience. Take a moment now, identify one small choice you can make today to move closer to the person you want to be. It could be reading for 10 minutes instead of scrolling through your phone, preparing a healthy meal instead of ordering fast food, having a difficult conversation you've been avoiding. Whatever it is, make that choice today. Then make another tomorrow, because your life is built on the sum of your choices, and better choices create a better life. Transformation isn't just about reaching a goal, it's about enjoying the process. Growth happens in the moments where you push beyond your limits, surprise yourself, and reflect on how far you've come. That's where the magic lies. Here's my challenge to you. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop postponing action. Start now. Take one small, intentional step forward, because every time you show up, every time you put in the effort, every time you strengthen the best version of yourself, you shape the life you were meant to live. Small choices may seem minor in the moment, but they hold the power to change everything. One step, one day, one decision at a time. You have what it takes, so don't wait. Begin today and watch how consistency transforms your world. Breaking free from excuses now. Be honest with yourself. How often have you said, I'll start tomorrow, I'll do it when things settle down, or I can't because of my circumstances? If you're like most people, probably more times than you'd like to admit, but that changes today. Today, you stop letting excuses dictate your life. Today, you take control. Excuses are comfortable. They provide an easy way out when challenges arise. They shield us from failure, from discomfort, from change. But here's the reality. Excuses are also a prison. They trap you in stagnation. They keep you from reaching your full potential. The longer you rely on excuses, the harder it becomes to break free.
You've heard them all before. I don't have time. I'm too tired. I don't know where to start. I lack resources. I've said them too. But here's what I've learned. Excuses are just stories. They aren't facts. They aren't reality. They are self-imposed barriers we create to avoid discomfort. The good news? You have the power to rewrite those stories. You can choose to silence the excuses and take action, because every choice you make is a step toward freedom. Freedom from fear, from doubt, from limitations that aren't real. So, are you ready to break free? Are you ready to stop making excuses and start living the life you were meant for? It starts now. It starts with you. Let's do this. The power of small, consistent choices. Every choice you make daily serves as a stepping stone toward personal transformation. These small, consistent decisions may not appear significant at first, but they lay the groundwork for lasting change. The best part? They are entirely within your control, starting right now. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or a major event. You don't need approval from anyone else. It all comes down to what you decide to do in the next few minutes, hours, and days. When you recognize this, it changes everything. Small choices are easy to dismiss. It's tempting to believe that skipping a workout doesn't matter, or that you'll start eating healthier tomorrow. But the reality is that these small decisions accumulate over time. Each time you hit snooze or let fear and procrastination take over, you reinforce habits that hold you back. On the other hand, every time you push forward, despite discomfort, you strengthen the version of yourself that takes action and grows stronger. Years ago, I found myself feeling stuck and frustrated. I thought change required a grand breakthrough, but then I realized that transformation wasn't about making one dramatic move. It was about making hundreds of small, consistent decisions. It wasn't about perfection, just about making better choices. That's when my life began to shift. Small choices may seem insignificant in the moment, but they create a ripple effect. For example, waking up 30 minutes earlier to focus on a personal goal may not seem like much, but consistency turns that small step into measurable progress. That progress builds confidence, which leads to further action. Before you know it, that single choice has set off a chain reaction that reshapes your entire life. It's not just about what you do, it's about who you become in the process. Consistent, intentional choices don't just build new habits, they reshape your identity. You prove to yourself that you are reliable, disciplined, and in control. That self-belief is where true strength originates. You might be wondering, what if I fail? What if I fall back into old habits? The truth is, setbacks are inevitable. But failure doesn't mean you've lost. It only matters whether you choose to keep going. Just as small choices can build momentum in one direction, they can also correct your course when you slip. Think of it like climbing a mountain. If you stumble a few steps, do you turn around and walk back down? No, you stand up and keep climbing. Your choices also shape your mindset. Each time you tell yourself, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, you reinforce limitations. But each time you remind yourself of your capabilities and take action, you empower yourself to grow. Take a moment right now. Identify one small decision that can move you closer to your goals today. Maybe it's choosing a book over social media, preparing a healthy meal instead of fast food, or having a conversation you've been avoiding. Make that choice today. Then make another one tomorrow. Because your life is a reflection of the choices you make. And as you commit to better decisions, you create a better life. The power of small, consistent choices isn't just about reaching goals, it's about learning to enjoy the journey. Growth isn't about rushing to a destination. It's found in the small victories, the moments when you push through resistance, and the realization of how far you've come. That's where real change happens. So stop waiting, stop postponing your progress. Start now. Make one intentional choice today. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be a step forward. Because every time you show up, put in the effort, and nurture the stronger version of yourself, you shape the life you're meant to live. And remember, small choices may not seem powerful in the moment, but they hold the power to change everything. One step, one day, one decision at a time, your future self is waiting. Start now and see what happens when you commit to consistency. Breaking free from excuses, be honest with yourself. How often have you said, I'll start tomorrow, I'll do it when things settle down, or I can't because of my circumstances? If you're like most people, you've likely made these excuses more times than you'd like to admit. But today, that cycle ends. Excuses provide comfort, They shield us from discomfort, fear, and failure, but in reality, they act as a barrier, keeping us stuck and preventing us from reaching our full potential. The longer we hold on to them, the more difficult they become to overcome. We've all heard or made these excuses: I don't have time, I'm too tired, I don't know where to start, or I lack the resources. But here's the truth. Excuses are simply stories we tell ourselves. They are not facts. They don't define reality. They only serve to justify inaction. But you have the power to rewrite those stories. Every decision you make is an opportunity to take control. When you stop making excuses, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start being the creator of your own future. Think about an excuse you've been holding on to. Maybe it's, I don't have time. The truth is, everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. It's about priorities. If something truly matters, you make time for it. If it doesn't, you find an excuse. Or maybe your excuse is, I don't know where to start. Feeling overwhelmed is natural, but waiting for the perfect plan isn't the solution. You don't need to know every step, you just need to take the first one. Progress comes from action, not from overthinking. Often excuses are rooted in fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown. But fear only holds power when you allow it to stop you. You can feel fear and still take action. Every time you do, you weaken its grip and strengthen your confidence. Breaking free from excuses requires honesty. Ask yourself, am I genuinely doing everything I can to move forward, or am I holding myself back? That level of self-awareness can be uncomfortable, but it's necessary for growth. Shifting your mindset is key. Instead of thinking about why something isn't possible, ask yourself how you can make it work. Instead of focusing on obstacles, look for solutions. Instead of doubting yourself, remind yourself of your potential. Surround yourself with people who challenge and support you. It's easy to fall into a cycle of excuses when surrounded by others who do the same. But when you're around action takers, it inspires you to rise to their level. Remember, overcoming excuses isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. You will have setbacks, you will make mistakes. But the difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is how they respond. Every choice, no matter how small, moves you closer to or further from the life you want. Imagine your future without excuses. What would you achieve? How would you feel? Who would you become? That future is within your reach, but you must be willing to let go of the barriers holding you back. The next time you catch yourself making an excuse, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this true or just a story I'm telling myself? Then take action, any action. Excuses may feel safe, but they limit your potential. The key to breaking free is in your hands. It's time to stop waiting, stop holding yourself back, and start moving forward. Your life is waiting for you to take charge. The only question is, will you step up? People who succeed acknowledge fear, feel it, and take action anyway. They push forward despite it. Those who remain stuck allow fear to paralyze them, retreating into comfort and familiarity. But here's the truth. Fear isn't a signal to stop. It's a sign you're on the edge of something significant. Every step into the unknown brings fear with it, trying to hold you back. You can't let it. The only way past fear is through it. The more you confront it, the stronger you become. Every action taken despite fear builds courage and resilience. Over time, you realize fear isn't as powerful as it once seemed. It's an obstacle, not a dictator of your choices. Consider how often fear has kept you from opportunities that could have transformed your life. Fear of failure, judgment, or inadequacy. It's a familiar battle, but fear isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. It highlights areas where growth is needed and signals where breakthroughs are possible. So instead of avoiding fear, lean into it. Face it head on. You'll soon realize it's not as daunting as it appeared from the outside. Now let's address doubt. It often accompanies fear, whispering uncertainties. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? Doubt shakes confidence, making you question your abilities and worth. The solution? Action. Action dissolves doubt. Every small step you take reaffirms your capability and builds confidence. The more you act despite doubt, the less influence it has over you. And let's be honest, it won't always be easy. There will be moments of hesitation, moments of questioning, moments of exhaustion. But those moments define you. They separate those who achieve their potential from those who don't. At those crossroads, you have a choice. Listen to fear and doubt, or press forward. Fear and doubt will always be present, but they don't have to control you. You have the power to move forward, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, because you are stronger than you believe. You possess more courage, resilience, and determination than you give yourself credit for. And with each challenge you overcome, you'll see just how capable you truly are. When you confront your fears, you reclaim control. You write the narrative. You step into your true potential. So the next time fear arises, and it will, remember this. Fear isn't a stop sign. It's an invitation to something greater. It signals growth, transformation, and opportunity. You have the strength to face it, move through it, and emerge stronger on the other side. Fear doesn't control you. Your response to it does. And when you choose courage, you unlock your full potential. The question is, are you ready to face your fears today? Building momentum with small wins. Let's be real. We all have those days when progress feels impossible, when motivation is low and everything seems overwhelming. Maybe you feel stuck, as if no matter how much effort you put in, nothing moves forward. This is when momentum matters most. This is when small actions create big results. The most successful people don't wait for the perfect time. They don't sit back hoping for circumstances to align. Instead, they take small, consistent steps, even on difficult days. They understand that momentum isn't built overnight, but through steady persistence. Momentum is the invisible force that drives progress. It's what keeps you moving when things get tough. It's fueled by action, not waiting. Success doesn't come from dramatic leaps. It's a product of small, repeated actions. And every single one of those actions matters. Each effort compounds over time, leading to meaningful change. When you push through resistance and choose action over stagnation, you generate momentum. The more consistently you do this, the easier it becomes to keep moving, growing, and advancing. Here's the key. Momentum isn't just about big achievements. It's built through small victories. Those moments when you complete a task, tackle a challenge, or simply take one step forward, those are the sparks that fuel your progress. Momentum and the power of small wins. Momentum works like a snowball rolling downhill. It starts small but gains speed and power as it moves. Think about a day when motivation was low. You woke up feeling sluggish, but then you took a small action. Maybe you made your bed, completed a quick workout, or finished one task you'd been avoiding. That single action led to another, then another. Before long, you were in motion, getting things done and feeling accomplished. Momentum isn't just about reaching major goals. It's about maintaining forward movement. Once you start, staying in motion becomes easier. Each action reinforces the next, making progress feel natural. Here's what most people get wrong. They expect momentum to feel effortless from the start, but building momentum is often slow and challenging at first. This is where many give up. But if you push through those initial struggles, momentum will start working in your favor. You can't wait for the perfect moment or the ideal circumstances. You have to begin. And once you do, keep going. Even when it's hard, even when progress seems slow, that's when true momentum is built. Momentum takes time to gain traction, but once it does, it's hard to stop. The results may not be immediate, but every small action counts. Eventually, you'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come. Consistency is key. Momentum isn't about one grand effort. It's about showing up every day. It's about taking small, repeated actions that accumulate into meaningful change. You can't expect to run a marathon without training. You can't achieve success without consistent effort. It's the daily steps, the small wins, that build momentum and ultimately lead to success. You might be thinking, but Jim, I can't push myself that hard every single day. I understand. Life can feel exhausting. The daily grind can seem never-ending. But here's the reality. You don't have to do everything at once. Just begin with one thing, one task, one goal, one small step. That's all it takes to build momentum. Once you start, progress becomes easier, and you'll realize you're capable of much more than you thought. Momentum is powerful. Once it's in motion, it fuels itself. Your confidence grows. Your energy increases. With each small win, you gain even more traction. It's like a snowball. Small at first, but gaining speed as it rolls downhill. What once seemed impossible starts to feel achievable. Obstacles that used to seem overwhelming become just another step in the journey. It all starts with that first step. The choice to begin and keep going. No matter how small the progress may seem, you don't need a dramatic breakthrough to build momentum. You just need to take action. One step, then another, then another. Keep moving forward, and before you know it, your progress will be unstoppable. The role of accountability and environment. Here's a hard truth. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It may sound harsh, but it's a fact. Your surroundings, the people you engage with, shape who you are and where you're headed. Your mindset, habits, and success are all influenced by those around you. If you want to grow, take an honest look at your inner circle. Are they pushing you forward or holding you back? Think about it. If you surround yourself with people who complain, make excuses, and refuse to take action, that mindset will rub off on you. It's easy to fall into that same pattern, settling for mediocrity and believing that's all life has to offer. But deep down, you know you're capable of more. The good news? You don't have to stay stuck. You have the power to choose your environment and the people you allow into your life. Surround yourself with those who uplift you, challenge you, and push you to be better. When you're in an environment where success and growth are the norm, you can't help but absorb that energy. It's contagious. Your mindset shifts when your surroundings change. But it's not just about the people. It's also about your physical and mental space. Your environment directly affects your ability to grow. Whether it's your workspace, the content you consume, or the habits you maintain, everything plays a role in your success. To create momentum, start by curating the right environment. Be around people who inspire you, who hold you accountable, and who believe in your potential. This is where transformation begins. Creating the right environment for success, consider your surroundings. When your space is messy and cluttered, how do you feel? Overwhelmed? Stuck? Drained? A chaotic environment makes it hard to focus and think clearly. But when you tidy up, when everything is in order, your mind feels lighter. Your energy shifts. You regain a sense of control. That's the power of environment. You control what and who you allow into your life. When you take charge of your surroundings, you'll see just how much it impacts your mindset and productivity. Success doesn't happen in isolation. It happens in the environment you create. If you're surrounded by negativity and complacency, you'll absorb that energy. But if you're around people focused on growth and ambition, you'll naturally rise to that level. Letting go of relationships or environments that hold you back isn't easy. But ask yourself, how badly do you want to succeed? If you're unwilling to make tough choices, but if you're serious about change, you must take control of your environment. Success isn't about surrounding yourself with people who always agree with you. It's about being around those who challenge you, push you, and hold you accountable. The right people see your potential even when you don't. They help you recognize your blind spots and push you to grow. But here's the catch. It's not just about finding the right people. It's also about being the right person. You can't expect inspiration if you're not inspiring yourself. You can't expect others to push you forward if you're not doing the same for them. Your energy matters. Are you bringing positivity, ambition, and a willingness to grow? Because when you do, you'll attract others who are on the same path. It all starts with you. You have the power to create the right environment. Don't wait for circumstances to change. Take responsibility and build the surroundings that will help you thrive. Ask yourself, who are you spending your time with? What energy are you allowing into your life? Are you in a cycle of negativity? Or are you surrounding yourself with people who push you forward? If you're serious about change, evaluate your environment and make the necessary adjustments. Your future depends on it. Your decision, your responsibility. There's something you need to hear, something that might be difficult, but is absolutely true. Your life is your responsibility. Everything happening or not happening is in your hands. The decisions you make today shape your future. The actions you take or don't take determine who you become. There's no one else to blame. No one else is responsible for your progress. If you want a better life, it starts with you. Always. That realization may feel like a burden, but it's also incredibly freeing. When you accept full responsibility, you stop waiting for circumstances to change. You stop blaming others. Instead, you take control. And that's when everything shifts. You go from being a victim to being the creator of your own life. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming external factors. We all do it. If only I had a better job, a better boss, a better situation. But playing the victim keeps you stuck. It convinces you that your happiness and success depend on something outside of yourself. It robs you of your power. The key to transformation is realizing that your life is yours to shape. If you want more, if you want to grow, you must own your journey. That means acknowledging where you are because of past choices. It's a tough pill to swallow, but once you do, you're free. Free to change, free to improve, free to move forward. Taking responsibility isn't just about recognizing it, it's about acting on it. Every day you must commit to making choices that align with your goals, even when it's hard, even when you're not motivated, even when the easier option is to do nothing. Success isn't about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about showing up consistently. It's about building habits that push you forward, even when progress feels slow. It's about taking ownership of your health, mindset, and future. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. The responsibility and the power is already in your hands. And once you embrace that, you stop waiting for change and start making it happen. Obstacles will come, but here's the secret. Every challenge is an opportunity. Every setback is a lesson. When you take full responsibility, failure stops being scary. You stop fearing challenges and start seeing them as stepping stones. Taking responsibility doesn't mean doing it alone. Seek mentors, find supportive people, but remember, no one else can walk your path for you. Growth isn't a straight line. Some days will feel easy, others will be tough, but you must keep going. Keep pushing forward, even on the hard days. Show up for yourself, because those moments build resilience, strength, and character. So, are you ready to own your choices, actions, and future? If so, commit to it now. Stop waiting. Stop blaming. Take control. You already have what it takes to succeed. The only thing standing in your way is the story you tell yourself. Rewrite that story. Own your journey, because you are the only one who can create the life you want. And it starts with the decision you make today.